Hi everyone, and welcome to English 10 Minutes. Do you have an object that holds a powerful memory, a song, a photo, or maybe an old piece of clothing? Today's story is about that feeling. It's about a girl, a boy, and a hoodie that still smells like summer. Let's begin. The hoodie isn't mine, but I wear it more than he ever did. It's a deep navy blue, soft from 100 washes, but not my washes. His. I haven't washed it once since he left. Not since August. Now, October leaves are falling outside my window, painting the world in orange and brown. But in my room, it is still summer. All I have to do is lift the collar of the hoodie to my nose and breathe in. It still smells like him. It smells like sunscreen, the cheap kind our moms always bought. It smells a little like salt from the ocean and smoke from the bonfire we had on the last night. Underneath it all, there's that scent that was just him, something warm and clean, like fresh laundry and sunshine. When I close my eyes, I'm not in my quiet, lonely room. I'm back at the beach, with the sound of the waves and Leo's easy laughter next to me. My friends don't understand. Maya, you have to come out with us, Sarah said on the phone yesterday. We're going to the Fall Fest. There will be hot apple cider. I know she meant well. They all do. But the thought of crisp autumn air and the smell of cinnamon felt like a betrayal. It felt like moving on, and I'm not ready. How can I enjoy autumn when my heart is still living in the last week of August? I can't. I have homework. I lied. The lie tasted like ash in my mouth. The truth was, I had plans. My plans were to put on Leo's hoodie, lie on my bed, and remember, the hoodie is my time machine. It's my safe place. He's been gone for 2 months, 3 weeks, and 4 days. It feels like a lifetime. His new life is 1,000 miles away, in a city with new streets and new friends. My life is here, in this small town, inside this navy blue hoodie. I bury my face in the soft fabric. For a moment, just a moment. He's not gone. He's right here, and it's still summer. The memory I visit most often is the last one. It was the night before he moved. We were sitting on the old wooden dock by Miller's Pond, our legs hanging over the edge, feet just above the dark water. The sun was setting, turning the sky into a beautiful painting of pink and gold. We called it the golden hour. It was our favorite time of day. A cool breeze started to blow across the water, and I shivered. I was only wearing a thin t-shirt. "You're cold," Leo said. It wasn't a question. He knew me so well. "I'm fine," I said, trying to stop my teeth from chattering. I was never a good liar with him. He just smiled, that slow, gentle smile of his. "You're a terrible liar, Maya." He took off his own hoodie, this hoodie, and put it over my shoulders. It was huge on me. The sleeves covered my hands completely, but it was so warm, and it smelled like him, like summer. I pulled it closer around me. "Thanks," I whispered. We sat in silence for a while, just watching the last light fade away. The silence between us was never awkward. It was comfortable, full of things we didn't need to say. I wanted to tell him not to go. I wanted to ask him to stay here, with me, by this pond. I wanted to ask him if he would miss our golden hours, but I didn't say anything. I was afraid the words would break the perfect, fragile moment. "You should keep it," he said quietly, his voice soft in the growing darkness, "so you don't forget me." I laughed, but it sounded a little wet, like I could ever forget you. Now, sitting on my bed, I traced a faded logo on the chest of the hoodie. I didn't know then that a piece of clothing could feel like a promise. My mom knocked on my door and opened it a little. "Honey, I'm doing laundry. Do you want me to wash that old thing?" she asked, pointing at the hoodie. My heart stopped. "No," I said, maybe a little too quickly. "No, it's fine." She gave me a strange look, but closed the door. I held the hoodie tighter. Washing it would be like washing him away. It would be like letting summer end. One evening, about a week later, the fear started. I was sitting at my desk, trying to do my calculus homework, but my mind was empty. I pulled the hoodie on for comfort, lifting the collar to my nose for that familiar smell. I breathed in, and then I breathed in again, deeper this time. It was there, but it was faint, weaker. The smell of sunscreen was almost gone. The scent of bonfire smoke had disappeared. Only a ghost of his personal scent remained. Panic, cold and sharp, rushed through me. Of course, a smell can't last forever. It fades, it disappears into the air. With every day that passed, with every time I wore it, I was losing him all over again, molecule by molecule. My hands were shaking as I took the hoodie off. I folded it carefully, like it was something precious and ancient. I put it inside a large plastic zip-top bag, pushing all the air out before sealing it. I thought maybe I could trap the scent, keep it safe, but it just looked sad and lifeless inside the plastic. That night, my phone buzzed with a video call. It was Leo. My heart jumped. It was the first time he had called in 2 weeks. I quickly took the hoodie out of the bag and put it on before answering. I needed to feel close to him. "Hey Maya," he said, his face bright on my screen. He was in a different room, not his dorm. Music was playing in the background. "Hey, where are you?" I asked, trying to sound casual. "Oh, I'm at my friend Josh's place. We're studying for a midterm." Say hi, Josh. A new face appeared next to Leo's for a second. Hey, Maya, the new boy said, then disappeared. Oh, cool, I said. The word felt small and stupid. We talked for a few minutes. He told me about his classes, about a funny professor, about a pizza place near his campus. That was amazing. He seemed so happy, so full of new stories that didn't include me. Hey, do you remember that night at the dock? I asked suddenly, desperate to connect with our world. The golden hour? He paused, a little frown on his face. Yeah, I think so. The night before I left, right? It was pretty. He said it like he was remembering a scene from a movie he saw a long time ago. It wasn't our golden hour, it was just a pretty sunset. He didn't remember the feeling. The magic was gone for him. And in that moment, I understood. The person on the screen was not the boy whose memory I was keeping safe in a hoodie. He had moved on. The smell was fading, because he was fading, too. After the call ended, I sat on my bed in complete silence for a long time. The hoodie felt heavy on my shoulders. It didn't feel like a warm hug anymore. It felt like a weight. The call hadn't been mean or angry. It was worse. It was normal. It was the sound of a friend living his life, a life that was now separate from mine. The Leo on the phone was excited about midterms and new friends. The Leo I was holding on to was a boy frozen in time, sitting on a dock during a perfect sunset. I realized I wasn't in love with Leo, the person who was 1,000 miles away. I was in love with a memory. The hoodie wasn't Leo. It was a museum for a single moment in time, and I was the only visitor. I have been living inside that museum for months, refusing to step outside and see that the world had kept spinning, that the seasons had changed. Sarah was drinking hot apple cider at the Fall Fest, and I was in my room, trying to breathe in the air of a summer that was long gone. It was so clear suddenly. Clinging to the hoodie, refusing to wash it, wasn't keeping Leo close to me. It was keeping me from myself. It was stopping me from making new memories, from finding my own new favorite things. Maybe my own golden hours were waiting for me, but I would never see them if I kept my eyes closed, lost in the past. I stood up and walked over to the plastic bag still lying on my floor. I picked up the hoodie. The faint smell was still there, a whisper of what it was. I smiled, but it was a real smile this time. A little sad, but real. A memory doesn't have to be a prison. It can be a gift. It was a beautiful summer. It was a perfect friendship. And it was over. That didn't mean it wasn't real. It just meant it was time for a new chapter. I needed to be brave enough to turn the page. With the hoodie in my arms, I walked out of my room and down the hall to the laundry room. The house was quiet. The washing machine stood in the corner, a silent white box. It didn't look scary anymore. It looked like a possibility. My movements were slow and deliberate. I opened the door of the machine and put the hoodie inside. I paused for a second, my hand on the soft fabric. It felt like saying goodbye, but it also felt like saying hello. Goodbye to the ghost of summer, and hello to whatever came next. I poured in the laundry detergent. It smelled of fresh linen and spring rain, a scent of new beginnings. I closed the door, chose a cycle, and pressed the start button. The machine whirred to life, filling with water. I watched through the small glass window as the hoodie turned over and over, disappearing into the soap and water. I didn't feel panic. I felt relief. A quiet, calm relief. I didn't wait by the machine. I went back to my room, opened my window, and let the cool, crisp October air fill the space. It smelled like dry leaves and distant rain. It smelled like right now. An hour later, the machine was silent. I took the hoodie out. It was warm and damp. I lifted it to my face and breathed in. The old smell was completely gone. There was no sunscreen, no bonfire smoke, no Leo. It smelled clean. It smelled like my home. It smelled like mine. I took it to my room and put it on. The sleeves still covered my hands, but it didn't feel like I was wearing someone else's life. The warmth felt like my own. It was just a hoodie, now a comfortable, navy blue hoodie. A gift from a friend I would always remember, but not a place I needed to hide anymore. It didn't smell like his summer anymore, but for the first time in months, I felt ready for my own. Thank you for listening. Memories are beautiful, but it's important to live in the present. We hope this story touched your heart and helped you practice your English. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories. Keep learning and keep feeling. See you next time.